Hello, Blazor fans. Welcome back to another Blazor Solar Power Hour. All right, so we've got a dashboard set up. I'm going to share my screen. We've been working on it the last couple of weeks. And sorry for the hall mirrors. I forgot to move this away. There we go. It looks okay. The outside part of the app, the shell, looks great. We pulled in the template from the Telerik or Progress Accelerator UI Accelerator. So if we go to telerik.com, let's see, it's easiest to find up under products, templates, and documentation. We used the machine manufacturing dashboard starter template. And for the most part, this looks like the template. Right there. Oh, nope, that's not it. Right there. There we go. I just noticed I have a progress logo in here now because we used our template. So that confused me for a split second. I was like, is that one of our pages? No, that's our app. So that is our app. We probably want to pull in a small bit of code from the building blocks section and then add like a tile layout here. So if we go under dashboard cards, we've got.
Yeah, we want to show 4 pieces of data, right, in this card. And it'll be 4 live values of a current thing because we're not saving the data in a chronological form yet. We're just listening to the live inputs. So it'll be 4 values, numerical values with preferably a green, red, or maybe yellow identifier, kind of like we did in the gauge, right? So a quick glance, like you see a number, but is that number good or bad? We could add a color to help.
I just realized I have to log in. I'm missing stuff
Yeah.
because.
Yeah, so we do a little bit of logic to see if you have a license for the templates, and then we'll give you all the code for it. If you don't, you can still visit the page. You just don't get the demos.
There we go. And then we've got, there's a couple different dashboard, compact card is what I was looking for. That's the one. So we could do one of these probably, and then we can add on the, we can use either this little green carrot or we can add our own logic there. But for the most part, I think we want something with a large numeric display, maybe something like this.
Yep.
So we can just come in and we need to go to Blazor. I was like, that looks like React code because it was. And we could just copy that straight out of there. And then if we look at our existing dashboard, what we're going to replace, let's go ahead and get it running, is these power displays. They're just kind of bland battery power. Like we don't have like a card or anything set up, so it's just kind of UI, just kind of floating out there. And then we'll put like a grid around it so we can arrange the tiles. But we need the tile pieces first. So that code is under components. I think we should create a component for each one, or that we can reuse for these. What do you think, Lance? Sound good?
Yeah, there are some values that we could reuse the same logic and others we can't. So maybe a separate component for name it something smart like live wattage component. And then we could use live wattage for different values. So let me pull the data over to the side so we can see what we're working with. Yeah, so we have values coming in as watts. And it can go up to a kilowatt, which will show 1,000, but we're not going to do unit conversions right now. So just watt should be fine.
I just made a CS file. I wanted a Razor file. I'm going to delete that and pray to the Razor gods that it doesn't mess my my build up because IntelliSense and all that goes off the rails sometimes when you delete things that were supposed to be components. So we're putting this compact card in, and we just need to place that in there. Right now it's got a $$ SVG icon. We probably aren't going to use that. So we can change that as we need to. But first thing we need to do is drop this route. We're not going to have a route, and we're going to have a parameter at least.
There's two possible ones. One is a wattage and one is a percentage.
So let's start with a value, and then wattage or percentage. I'm trying to think what would be.
Imagine we would have a separate component that does wattages and then another component that does percentages.
Okay. All right, let's start with a generic compact card, and then we'll specialize one.
Yeah.
So we've got a value we're going to pass in, and that value gets displayed in the large section. And then we've got a title. Or some kind of text. We'll just call it text for now. Oh, we need to default these two. So this is something that we could talk about for a minute. This is one of those little Blazor nuances. So I'm getting these green underscores here because these are non-nullable property values. All I'm doing is essentially writing these out to the screen here. And if I write a null value as Razor like this, I'm not dereferencing it, I'm not calling properties off of it, anything like that. It's just going to render nothing. So the null will fail gracefully in this case, but it's still going to throw warnings at me, even though there's actually not a problem here. So the best thing to do with this is just go ahead and say string.empty and just shut the compiler up. Just for consistency's sake.
Yeah, string is those weird objects that don't behave like a reference.
And Razor is so forgiving. Like a lot of times nulls don't catch you until they do, if that makes sense. Like it's pretty resilient. Razor will most of the time fail gracefully unless it's like a template that's doing some dereferencing internally that blows it up. So just if you see those green underscores, this is a way to handle strings properly. We'll just do it the right way. And then we've got, let's see, a $$ value. Let's go ahead and throw this in our UI now and see what it looks like, and then we can play with it more. So we'll come back to our homepage, and then we've got a gauge here. Everything's kind of just thrown on the page and floating around right now. We've got our page title. We got an H1 tag. This is the meta title, by the way. This is the actual visible H1 title. We've got our toggle switch, we've got our arc gauge, and then we've got this P tag that is load power. This is one of the things we want to replace. So let's go ahead and start here and say compact card. I got to put a using statement in for that. I wish they would automatically just pick that up. You can control period that, by the way, and let IntelliSense handle it for you. Value, we're going to say at load power. And then text is going to be load power. And then we'll end that tag. And then run the application. We should be able to see our compact card in there.
I also just thought that we don't need to subspecialize the card. What we can do is pass in a third parameter that would be the symbol, right? So we can pass in an SVG icon property. Yeah.
I like to start super generic. And then if I feel I need a specialized card or component after that, I'll add one. So I do, I might start with a compact card, and then I might have, spell out the parameters for it and realize I'm reusing, say, the wattage one a lot. So I might have a wattage card after that that is just wrapping the compact card and supplying the default parameters for it. That's an easy way to kind of get your abstractions figured out. So we've got, is this the current version of it? Does not look like it. Let's try killing the app and starting it again. Something's off.
Yeah, I've never understood how
There it
the
goes.
hot reload works in Blazor. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if it's my fault or not.
Yeah, it's not your fault. It's supposed to be fixed in .NET 9. Cross your fingers. We've heard that a couple times. It's a tough nut to crack. So we can change out the icon, or we can add some red-green values, that type of thing in here. What sounds good for this? Like, we definitely don't want a $sign here. Do we want to throw a W? Is there a way to do a W? This is an icon.
Maybe we can do a lightning bolt because the
Oh,
unit
that's a good one.
itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. So we'll go back into compact card, which you can control click on components and dive into them, by the way. If you
Oh,
see me
nice.
just darting into a component. And then we want the SVG icon, this one.
Bolt.
Is there a lightning bolt?
The list is on the
Yeah.
design page,
Design
right?
system.
I think there's an icons
I
tab.
need to remember it's progress or telerik.com design-system. Let's see. We've got, is it under CSS utilities or is it under foundation iconography?
Yeah, there it
List
is.
of icons.
So maybe electricity, you can try filtering first. Electric power. I know I've seen a lightning bolt one before. Zap, that was a good search term.
I don't see lightning, nothing like
Yeah.
that. All right, let's find something here. Oh, I've got something if this doesn't work. I like to look through our icons because I know it's going to be supported by all browsers.
I do this just for inspiration, right? Because I'll have an idea at first and maybe it's not the best idea for it. And I see something else that gives me better inspiration and go in a
Yeah.
completely different direction.
Yeah, we might find something here that it's a better, like a light bulb. I bet there's one. That would be a good one, right? There's
Yeah.
got to be a light bulb in here. Or not. Did I pass by one? No, there is not.
There are categories on the right. So charts, editing, borders, list, media,
Yeah.
miscellaneous.
Sparkles. You got to have the AI icon, the good old sparkles. Well, I'd say it'd probably be under editing if it was anywhere. I don't see.
Because it means tip, right? Usually you see the light bulb, or maybe that's only for developers because we used to IntelliSense.
Yeah, it's usually like information, feedback. Oh, this is all like image editing. Let's see. Alerts. No. All right. That was arrows, by the way. Alerts. It would be under there, I think.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I give up. I've got a plan though. So you're gonna like this one. Let's go back over to our editor and we are gonna drop the SVG icon completely. And we're gonna put let's see, how do we want to add that? It's just going to be a string again. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have deleted that. Let me go back real quick and undo that because I think there was some formatting maybe. The size, extra large. We're going to want to look into font size, large.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll end up probably using that. That'll probably
Yeah.
work. Let's go ahead and delete that then. We will, for safety or time sakes, we'll just take that as a symbol. And this is going to be a string. And we'll put a span here. Class equals K. Font size. I wonder what extra large is in this. So if we go to CSS utilities,
Yeah,
this is
it
all
was extra
the
extra large
benefits.
or something like that.
Benefit of a design system. Font weight. Font normal, semi-bold, black, light, thin, size. Here we go. No, that's the weight. Style should be size, right? Why am I not seeing size? I'm failing hard at this.
Yeah, weight is usually just bold, not bold, but size is a totally separate thing.
That's height. That's not. Is this not documented here? Text, transform, align, decoration, overflow, white space. Interesting. Might have to give some feedback on that one. I don't see
Maybe it's a general size
size.
property. No, because it says font
There's a
size
K
right
font
there.
size there. We're using it. We're just not sharing
Yeah.
it in the docs that I can find. So probably can come in and do, hey, this is not the right version again. Our card disappeared. Why did my card disappear? Because I'm editing it. It like hot reloaded on me or something. All right, let's do this. Large for now.
Yeah.
Oh, IntelliSense is so annoying. I don't want that extra quote there. Thank you very much. Drop a span here. And then watch this. We can just say the icon is, yeah, light bulb, right? Just use an emoji. Gets the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's Unicode, so it should
There we
work
go.
everywhere. Yeah.
There's our load power. We wanted to make that larger. So if we look at it in our inspection tool, we have K size large right here. And if we do a click on this, we'll see, okay, it's XL is the next size up. So there is an XL. Let's try XL here. And then hopefully it hot reloaded. It's
It
slightly
looks a
larger.
little bigger. Yeah.
It's a little bigger. It's not
Yeah.
big like the icon was though. I wonder what size the icon was at that larger size.
SVGs will fill in this space, right? So they're vectors, whatever the parent borders are, it'll stretch out. But extra large is different, maybe.
Let's see what size that ends up being. Oh, it's like it's gonna look like that. Let's see. 16 by 16 is that? Let's
It's
do
not right. I
computed
think we're
style.
currently at 20.
Why can't I see with my DevTools open? There we go. So it's a 30 pixel image. And we've got XL here, which is 27 pixels. It's a literal font size of 20px plus the padding in
Yeah, I
line
would say
height.
the padding and aspect ratio affects it too, because it's a tall icon where you won't get that horizontal fill.
How do I want to make that larger?
Where do you think the padding has come from? Does span have a default padding?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, there's no padding on that. That's all just the line height, pretty much. The font size is actually just 20 pixels. So if we wanted like, let's see, we could come in to styles here. we wanted to just look at this and make it bigger, we'll just hard code it for a second and just say if this was 30 pixels. I got too many tabs open down there with the same icon on it. There we go.
There we
Yeah, we
go. That's
wanted
nice.
about 30, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just create our own style sheet for that one, I guess. Because I don't see a Kendo 30 pixel value. Let's refresh this.
What's weird is the enum says extra extra large, but I don't see a class with that name.
Yeah. Looking to see, okay, we got font. Okay, those are all weights, size, extra, extra small.
In Excel. That's yeah.
Can we do a filter on, yeah, or how about font size? There, we could use the H font sizes. That might be bad practice, but we could do it.
I mean H3 would be right there.
Yeah, let's just use that for now. You can always come back and change it if we don't like it.
Yeah.
So this is actually going to be.
Can you do the variable trick there?
I could use it as an inline style, but there's probably already K3 font size. Let's see. It's probably written out somewhere else. Let's look back at, oh my gosh, this thing. It's grouping them all up like on the end of my thing here. There we go. Let's try that. That at least keeps me from hunting and pecking at it. Is there a topography? Let's try foundation again. Topography. There we go. Maybe this is where the values were that I was looking for. So we got the heading styles, usage, but no, those aren't the actual font values in there. Let's do inspect on this and see if it's got. Now they're using a special one here for this display. I thought we might be able to see it. And I accidentally copied that on the clipboard. Boy, I'm fumbling here. It was. Let's get back up to the head of the document. Why am I getting... all right, hang on a second. Let's do a little tab bankruptcy here. This needs to go over here. Then I can come in here. Let's inspect this one. And then we were thinking about the H3. Let's see, there's the H2. They use different stuff on this page too.
So it is.
I was looking for a place to poach this from.
I think I saw one that says typography heading.
Let's see if we do H1. There we go. Oh crap! I think I just saw it. Where was it? H.
I guess those classes just aren't in our app yet, right? Why isn't it coming up in the filter?
H3 font size.
Yeah, so that there is that's not a class name, that's a variable.
It's a variable. We can use it, but it's going to be a little different. I was just looking to see if there was something built in that had, I guess they're just selecting the H1 directly. So that's not going to do anything for us. So this won't be a style. This will be, or class, it'll be style equals font size var
I
Kendall font
see.
size 3.
So it resolves a value to the variable and then sets it when it renders.
Yep. I don't know why this went crazy. Span tag has no matching end. It sure does. And tell us, or the compiler's not happy with that. Let's try reloading it. Jeez. Okay. This is the latest update too, by the way. This is the latest Visual Studio. So that should resolve that font size. That was too complicated for
Okay.
what I wanted to do.
Welcome to Blazor Power Hour, where we find new ways to break things.
I probably could have done just custom CSS quicker.
Yeah, but that's not the
without creating a
point,
new
right?
style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't want to create a whole new style for it. So we've got load power, and then let's see what happens if we connect.
The other important thing is the unit. So we need a way to show W for this. So maybe we do need another parameter, right? We were originally going to pass in the icon, or okay, we have symbol. And we need something to append to the text. Sometimes we do that with string format, but I'm not sure that would work here. It'd probably be safer just to pass the unit in.
Like that, and then we'll set default like that. And
then
we
go
want
right
to
after
write
the value.
the
Yeah.
unit. Let's see. So the format for this, it's usually going to be, I mean, we could do a format, and then in here we could do,
Like I thought about that, like string format, but how would that work for percentage? Or we could do P2, or how do we tell it watts? It makes sense to change the double into a particular format, but does wattage have?
yeah, I don't know if there's a string. Well, string format, you can, I think, make anything you want, can't you?
I mean, you can definitely put in like a string there, right? So you format, then you put the first value, the second value, with the second value is the format. As long as we don't confuse it with .NET format.
All right, let's just do the easy way first. Let's see, this was
Unit.
unit. I'll just write it at the end. We'll just do it that way for now.
Yeah, because as the developer, I would assume that format would mean the .NET string format. And I would pass
I think we
in
could
like
probably
N2.
figure out something we could pass to it, but just to be simple, just do it this way for now. Unit W.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then I hard coded the symbol. Like that. There we
I
go.
love the Windows emoji.
I know, the
It's the
little emoji
start
panel.
dot. Yep. Start menu
Yeah.
plus period.
There
Now
we
I don't
go.
have to remember all the Unicode values because I used to have a bunch of alt codes memorized. Like for example, alt 0169 or is the trademark symbol, or 0153. Don't have to do that anymore.
I'm
Yeah, that's looking
curious.
good. Maybe we need the value slightly bigger so that it fills the vertical space with the light bulb. I'm being picky here.
So these emojis, they're not colorable, are they?
Depends on what your
What the
rendering
OS?
system is. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. What were you saying about some sort of sizing?
Yeah, so let's look at where the numbers are compared to the size of the light bulb. Do we want to decrease the light bulb a little bit or make the numbers bigger?
Um, let's try this. All right, so right now it looks like, oh, all right, zoom tool. Jeez. All right, there we go.
That's kind of
So,
like the imbalance I'm talking about, right? So it seems.
yeah, it's like off just a little bit here.
What's the most important thing about this card? That would be the value.
Yeah,
So
I think the value should be much bigger.
yeah, and then it would fix the spacing issue.
I guess the important thing with this value that we added for the font size here is that we didn't come in and say that the span was an H3 tag, because that's really the one that's incorrect. That's bad practice to do, because it is not an H3 tag. It would be like very improper to use that. But we can take this, and I don't normally advocate inline styles either, but it works in this scenario because it is tied to a variable. So it kind of breaks that inline style hard codedness, but we can still probably move this to a class and it'd make me happier. Let's actually do that. Let's right click on this guy because we're going to need a couple of these. It looks like we're going to go outside the normal font size values.
Yeah.
And let's do an isolated CSS here. And now we have a CSS just for this card. So this won't interfere with anything else. And then we'll say symbol size. Or
That's very cool.
actually, we'll
I
do
never
symbol.
knew you could do that. Kind of like a code behind, but only for CSS.
Yep. This will only work for this card. It won't affect anything else in the app. Let's do a symbol font size. And then we want roughly 30 pixels here. What else do we have in our compact card? We want to set the value and the subtitle bigger, right?
Yep.
Actually, one thing we could do, so we could still base this off the Kendo theme values. So we could say var, and then we had extra large, remember? Kendo font.
Size XL. But that was too small.
Right.
That's why we, yeah.
XL plus.
Oh, you can add them together.
There we go.
Haha.
We do a plus 10. That should give us 40. Or 30, I mean. We could even throw that in another variable. And then we should probably actually do this as well. So this is a 20 pixel value. If for some reason we didn't have a value here, that would default to 20. So this is just giving us a little safe thing, because if this wasn't defined, it'd be 0, and then it'd only be 10 pixels, and that would be tiny.
Nice.
So we've got our symbol, got a value. The value is currently K font size large.
Maybe this is when we do want XL.
Oh, okay, yeah, we've got an XL that we can use.
Because we want it a little bigger. We're not sure if that fits exactly, but we do know we want it to be larger than large.
All right, so let's do that for now, and then we can take this inline style out and make that a class again. All right, let's try that. And then let's go ahead and rebuild that because Blazor. Oh, that got tiny again. Let's do refresh. And it's slow. Why is it slow? It's local. That didn't work. Why are we not getting our class here? It's not finding anything. So
Where would you locate where there that custom class CSS file?
it'd be in the head of the document, and then it will be under the namespace of the app.
Yeah, we don't see
Blazor
it.
Solar Power Hour style CS. Open a new tab. And it is not being emitted. So the compiler has not picked it up yet. All right, let's close this tab out. Let's do a clean.
So the compiler
rebuild.
will look for all explicit CSS classes, take out the CSS and put it into the app wide one.
Yeah, so it will find any component or any naming convention that follows a component.razor that has CS at the end. It's going to find that, and it will compile that at compile time into a CSS file that has a special kind of a ID that links the class name with the one that's in the CSS file.
That's my first
And
concern. It's like, how does it know it's scoped only to that component if it's going to be in an app wide CSS class?
yeah, it does. Which, if it would actually generate it, I'll show you. What is it doing? Why is it not creating it? There's other stuff in here that I didn't even realize we had. So it was under this. Open a new tab. There's all the generated. Oh, there's symbol. There it is. Why isn't that getting rendered? So there is. Oops. There's the ID number that gets attached to it. So the compiler puts that in the HTML. You'll see it in the HTML bit. It could be my math that's throwing this off. So now that it's actually rendering it, let's see.
Or
What
there's
it
no
came up
values
with.
coming in right now either because it's disconnected.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that? But the light bulb's what we're trying to style.
Yeah. Those two.
So
Getting ahead of
let's
ourselves here.
inspect that again. Bring this over, and Kendo font size is 20 plus 10 pixels should be 30, yet it's not really being affected by anything. Why? Let's try hard coding it. 30. Okay, so it's something to do with the math part.
Yep.
So font size extra large. That works. But we can't add 10 to it. I thought we could do simple math. Oh, I know what it is. I need to look at chat because they might have said something. Okay, maybe not. All right, the chat didn't pick up on it yet. It's calc.
Definitely N47 did find the size article in the docs.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. I can't pull that link. It's under foundation.
Oh, so it's K-icon-XXL. No font in it at all.
Oh, it's specific to the icon then. All right. Okay, so that seemed to work. I missed the calc on that. And the load power is bigger
So I
now.
missed that. You wrapped it all inside of a calc function?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you could see it if I click on it. There. Yeah, so it had to be calculated.
Yeah.
I forgot you can't just, willy-nilly throw them in there and it's just going to work. So that's that for now. Do we want to
That's really
add?
good.
Yeah. Is there a red-green value for this? Do we want to add any of that to it?
I would say not here. So these are just kind of like absolute values.
Okay.
When we're talking about percentage, we might want it. Like let's say it's below 50% battery, we might want it to be yellow or
All
but it's
right.
hard to generalize that across all of the different values we're going to show. So I say for now, let's just get the layout there and have our cards that have all 4 values.
Sounds good to me. All right, we fixed that. We have our generic component now. Let's go back to home and start wiping out these p tags. So we don't want that anymore. We have a compact card with load power. We can copy that card. This one will be battery power.
I forget which one is the percentage
Battery
one.
power value.
One of them is wattage, which is
Okay.
coming in and out of the battery, and another one is the percentage. And I think we named them differently so we don't get confused in the future.
Oh, come on. That wrong key.
Oh yeah, since we're using Unicode now, yep.
We could actually toggle those based on the strength
Above
of the
or
battery as
below.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. So that's that one. And then we've got a couple more here. PV power and grid power. So this one is PV power.
This is photovoltaic panel. So what kind of symbol would we use? Sun,
The
is it?
sun.
Yeah.
Or we got a little satellite. I don't know if that's too awkward. How about a sun? I think sun is most appropriate.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble hearing. Can you say that
Really?
again?
I didn't say anything to my assistant over there, but I don't know if y'all heard that, but Schmalexa is responding to the stream now. Let's do grid power.
Ooh, I wonder if there's like telephone poles or something.
Oh. Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. I was looking for a nuke plant, but they didn't have one of those. Like a.
So I'm glad we left a comment there that we said it can be positive or negative. That's when we could make a decision to turn the text or something red or green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something we might want to take the card and abstract it to a different type of card. Because it can have like a low symbol and a high symbol and a threshold value or something.
Yeah.
So we might want to tinker with that.
Yeah, probably do that later. Like don't.
Of course.
I guess one of the biggest issues that we're having right now is we don't have a standard layout to put these things into. Right?
Yeah, look at this mess.
Yeah.
So this is chunky and awkward looking, but it's getting better. Like we have at least some cells that these things
Yeah,
are
that
inside of.
already looks better that we're getting live data in there. Like nothing to the grid.
Yeah.
I got a lot of information in a split second looking at it. So that means we're heading in the right direction.
So let's drop the app for a minute, and then we want to add some other componentry to it. For that, I'm going to go. I wonder if I can move this off my other monitor or something. This is so annoying. No, I can't. Can I? Will it stop showing up over here now? Ah, that's so much easier. Thank you. All right. Sorry, pet peeve. Let's go to the actual browser. Telerik.com, web components, Blazor. And we're going to steal some more components here. Steal, I mean, I paid for. I don't want to say steal. It's not the right word. I'm going to use my documentation to find the correct. Do not steal components, folks. Tile layout. So this one, I could probably use this sample that's right here, and I know it looks like a lot. This is like all their cards that are in it, but essentially we want this piece and the tile layout items, and this tile layout all the way down to the content, I think, is what we want. And we'll put this just under the switch. And then we can end content. End content. End the Telerik tile layout. End. Oh, why didn't I get another end tag? Tile layout item. There we go. End all the tags. On item resize is something we're going to want in here. I'll explain that later. I forgot we have a code behind for this one. So let's get the code behind and add an event. We'll just stick it at the top for a void on resize. Was it on resize? Let's pop these into a side by side on item resize and put just a dummy method in here to catch that until we're ready to program it.
There's no
So we
arcs
got-
for that.
No, we don't need one. So we've got, right now this is 5 columns. We could set this to whatever we want. 5 columns is probably a lot. What do you want?
Yeah,
4
I would
maybe?
say 4. Either 2 or 4, and I think 2 might be a little too low. Because we'll want the chart to span maybe 2 or 3 columns out of the 4, but we can start the first row with our 4 new cards.
Let's try initially with no values in here and see what it does. I don't like hard coding pixel values if I don't have to. Let's see if it auto lays out 4 columns. Oh, no, it didn't. It did not like that. All right, so it does require some sort of value in there. Let's see what default values look like. I don't think it re-rendered. Let's try to hot reload again. It's not changing. It changed the height. It didn't change the width. Oh, I know why. Duh. Let's hang on a second. Having a senior moment here. Let's take that out for a second. We don't have anything in the cards yet. Jeez. Let's throw the gauge in a card layout first. And then this has the column spans on it. We'll go ahead and take that out. Header text is going to be battery.
We should make the gauges horizontal while we're at it too, so that it fits better in a card. Yeah.
And then we need another tile layout item with content in it. And that is going to be this card here. Tile layout item, content. Making sure I didn't accidentally grab the opening tag of that other item there. Another tile layout item. Can't believe I loaded that up expecting it to work and I didn't like put any of the work in. I'm just like, magic, do your thing. The code shall run correctly the first time.
If there's no hard-coded values, we're expecting it to behave like a grid where it will divide the space evenly according to the number of columns we want.
That's what I'm hoping we'll get. We'll have to see. I
Yeah.
cannot remember. And as we add more of these, I'm seeing we have quite a few cards already, so this might not look right, but we'll find out. Like I said, I just don't like hard coding values if I don't have to. I think the height is required, but I don't think the width is, if I remember right. But most of our demos have a width or height set. Content. Last one, folks. And we can this guy. Oh, love the little power plant in there. Save it. Let's go look at it. Ah, there we go. Looking better.
Nice.
May have got ahead of ourselves with the little widget. Might not even need that. I don't know. Notice they're all the same height. Yeah, like I think you're right with the horizontal axis on these might work better. Let's go ahead and change those gauges. Whoops. Should be another one. Why is there only one?
It might have only been defined because you don't have to have vertical there. By default, it's true. So the other one might not.
Oh, okay. The other one's not defined at all then.
Yeah.
Okay, linear gauge. Pointer scales. I thought it was under this one. Is it not? Heading? Nope. Scale pointer. Which item was that under on the last one?
The gauge
Linear
scale.
gauge scale. Scale. There it is. Save that. Check back. All right.
Okay, now what if
That's a
we
lot better.
get rid of the hard-coded height? Will it shrink
There isn't
automatically?
one. There isn't one. I
Oh,
took them both off already.
okay. So that's kind of
there's
the
4
default.
columns. Yeah. Yep. So it must have some sort of default value or it divided it up somehow.
But we can work
evenly.
with this. I mean, this amount of size is good. It's draggable. We just style it to be a little different to meet the needs of.
There we go.
Nice.
Why is this one in the middle and this one up top? Do you see that?
Yeah.
That's kind of an odd thing. What's happening there, I wonder? So that one has a lot going on. Tile layout, item body. Let's see if there's something on the body class. All right. What's this one doing? I don't understand why they're like that. Just kind of noticed it's one's higher than the other. This one has a height. Width and height. Doesn't seem to affect it, but it has a width and a height. Interesting. 2 different ones. Was there a hard-coded height on one of these or something? I don't see one. That's something we're going to have to look at later and figure out.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. One thing we could probably try, it could be a side effect of the hot reload. So if we stop the app, which I don't know where my stop button went. Why do I not have a stop?
That is strange. It's
It's
like
a new
hung
VS
with the
update. Like,
debugger.
I did update Visual Studio today, so who knows? They might have taken the button out just to mess with me. Like, let's mess with that on a live stream and remove buttons from the UI of Visual Studio. It's a conspiracy, I tell you. Let's try running it again. Okay, yeah, it was an effect of the hot reload. So they are equals now. Hot reload does some weird stuff to things that use JS interop in the background. So that resize event, we're going to actually need to tap into, because see what I just did there?
Yep. We have to
Um,
tell the children to remeasure themselves.
Yes, we do. If they are using JavaScript to calculate the width of their interface, because this is using SVGs, and when you draw the SVGs, it wants like pixel values.
Yep.
So we need to tell it what the new pixel values are. So when we resize, we want that to happen. And if I go back to the example here, I think it's actually right here. We need to get a reference to.
It's just a refresh method. That's very
Yeah.
handy. Okay.
Yeah, but we need to create a reference to all of the gauges. So we've got this gauge here, which is probably want to abstract these into their own components soon. This one is, we want an at ref equals, and then we will call it battery gauge.
Maybe
And
battery level, because we're already starting to see some confusion between battery wattage and charge level. Yeah.
And then we have another gauge. This is the battery power gauge.
Bingo. Yep. So this is the wattage coming in or out of the battery.
All right, so these are red underscored because we don't have a backing field for these right now. And what Blazor wants us to do, so we need to come over here and create a placeholder for those. And these are going to be the type of component they are. In this case, it is a Telerik arc gauge and nullable. And this one is going to be battery level gauge. And then we need a using statement. There we go. And the other one is not an arc gauge, it's a linear gauge. So we need to be specific with that. Battery power. And then what's going to happen is when the parent component spins up, this at ref will kick in. And Blazor will say, oh, I want a reference to this instance of this component, and I'm going to store the value here. Does that make sense?
This is where I see some similarities. Being a XAML developer, XAML behind the scenes creates this reference for you. So yeah.
So I don't know if it's a render as
Refresh. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a memory optimization that we don't get these for free or what.
I would assume
but
so.
we
That
have
would
to
be very
manually
intensive.
we have to manually grab these if we need them. Oh, and this is, I made it nullable. There is an instance where so it's being created by the parent component. So there's a split instance where this hasn't been created yet and it hasn't been assigned. So it does need to be nullable. If you leave this off, you'll get the squiggles. One thing you can do is you could say default bang here, because you're going to expect the framework to set this value for you. So it is somewhat safe to do this. However, I've noticed that this is a little bit safer because there's a slight chance that you might hit this method somehow before the component gets drawn. Or what you have is, say, and this is common practice in Blazor, say there's a condition like maybe our toggle switch up here that we've decided, well, we don't want to render this component if that switch is toggled. So under some condition, this arc gauge is wrapped in an if statement like this. We'll just say if false, just to kind of prove my point. And then we put the gauge inside of this.
Yeah.
Well, the page renders out and it sees this if statement and then it bypasses the rendering for the gauge. Therefore, it's never created. There's no instance of it, and it is now null. And then you resize the page, and now you're getting these null reference exceptions. So this is the one case where null actually really matters, and you want to go ahead and make this nullable to describe your intent that this could possibly be null. And you want to check for that before you refresh it, because if you don't, and you if statement around it, you're going to blow up your app. And then you get a bug to hunt for, and it's annoying. So don't do that.
All right. It's a perfect time to, because I have to drop soon, and I think we finally have a pretty
Right
cool place.
I'm going to restart the app one more time.
Yeah.
Just before we go here, just to show that our resize method is working. And then I'll do a git commit off air. Oh, that did not work.
But get the data coming in. So
We'll have to look and see why the refresh didn't hit. But we'll do that next week. We'll see why that didn't kick in. It should have kicked in.
Will you hit a breakpoint if you?
Yes,
Or
it should
if
hit a
it's supposed
breakpoint
to.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be able to hit a breakpoint.
I'd rather not check this in while this doesn't work, right? We went to the effort of setting it up.
Oh, I'm hitting it.
Okay.
And we're calling the refresh. Unless for some reason that's null. It's not null. Is it? That's just the properties on it that are null. The object itself doesn't appear to be null as child content. I don't know why that's not resizing. Let's check the demo page. So,
I remember having to do the same thing for a line series, and I don't recall any special conditions.
see how they all just re-rendered there.
Yeah.
We're not seeing that for some reason. Is it like one of
Where do they
the,
have
are we
their
suppressing the rendering or anything? Like, is that, I can't remember how we coded that up. Where's our app again? Let's try it, running it and letting it start kicking in values. Oh, did we? Oh, we're still breaking. We're still breaking.
Oh, okay. Oh, your button's gone again.
My button is gone. What happened to?
But you're not at the breakpoint anymore either. It's not.
I know. This is fun. Jeez. Take that breakpoint off real fast. Connect. Let it start ticking, and then it could be an error. Yeah, it's an error with our.
Yeah.
It's an error with our refresh code, I think. Yeah,
Well,
see, it's waiting for the next tick.
Yep.
So we'll have to look at that. There is a bug. But I will commit this one, and I'll make a note of the bug as well. All right, folks, we will fix our bugs next week, and we will enhance the dashboard even more. Break down maybe some of those components that we were talking about, giving like some positive, negative value states and some other things. But it's starting to shape up a little bit. It looks pretty cool, Lance.
It is.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.